Hi. I'm going to share with you some background information about Roderick Deacey, who's the recipient of the Frederick Arts Council's first Carl Butler Literary Arts Award. He's originally from the UK. He's a performance poet, and he brings a particularly British quirkiness to his writing, often using humor to make his points. He performs two to four times each month with a bass player and a drummer percussionist, and you'll hear that work, a sample of it, in just a few minutes, as a matter of fact. As soon as I get away from the podium, as a matter of fact. They present what he calls neo-beat pieces, based loosely on the approach of the beat poets and jazz forays of the 1950s. He explains, think of story ballads with a touch of hip-hop, filtered through contemporary poetic styles, underpinned by an intuitive improvising rhythm section that likes to change time signatures, and you have it. He also regularly presents his contemporary poems at poetry readings and open mics. And Roderick, we have to get you to come to the Hyattstown Mill Arts Project in October when we have our open mic there. It's just down the road. He has 3 chapbooks ready to go in 2019. Am I Too Late Again? Front to Back Stories, and neo-beatery ballads. And each of those just sounds really incredibly intriguing to me. I really thought that his impressive body of work needed to have a larger audience, and so it's my pleasure to present you this award. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. How long do you want me to go on for? I really appreciate this award, I must say. It's going to give me an enormous boost. I come into poetry from the back end. Normally, when you are a poet, you write your poems, and then you send them off to literary magazines, and where the 17-year-old intern sorts through them and throws them in the bin. That happens quite a lot. Anyway, I come in from the other end, the performance end. And the reason I did this was because I was a singer-songwriter, but I got arthritis in my hands. But also my good buddy and drummer, Mr. Ron Goes, sitting there, told me that I ought to get into poetry, because I was obviously good at it. And I'm still working on my 10,000 hours on poetry. This was about 5 years ago, or 4 to 5 years ago, when I was reading a poem and Ron started playing drums behind me. And that started the ball rolling. So, the thing about reading poetry to people in public is if you go to a poetry reading, you know what you're going to expect. If you go out on a Friday night and you want to have a couple of drinks and some nice dinner and be entertained, and some guy gets up and drearily recites verses at you, then you don't respond too well. So we're looking for a way to keep the energy level up at our Harried Americans Roadshow, which comprises mostly singer-songwriters, a band, a rotating comedian, and also they planned on having a rotating poet, but they couldn't find anybody who could do it better than I could, so they made me the permanent poet. Okay. And we started doing this form of beat poetry, and What I'm aiming at with it is not deeply intellectual and challenging poetry like John Ashbery or Dean Young or 1,000 others I could talk about. But I'm aiming at people who come out on Friday night and want to be entertained and go, is that poetry? I actually like that. And I understand it. Sort of, but... And that's where we started with this, and that's where we've carried on. And we have built up a big following with it, our little trio. And we consequently appear at a number of SOAR shows, Songwriters Association of Washington shows, on a regular basis. And we carry on doing our Harrod American shows. And we are booked through December this year, so which is good. But now, this award will enable me to fulfill the wishes of people who come up to me after gigs saying, have you got any of these poems like printed or anything? And so I'll be able to self-publish them, and I am deeply grateful for that. So it means a huge amount to me. And I think it's a wonderful thing that this particular structure has been set up to look at artists and creators in this neck of the woods, because it's hard to do stuff, you know. I think the only people who are paid worse than singer-songwriters are poets. So it is hard, and this kind of injection of cash to enable you to do things is just wonderful, and I hope it carries on. Thank you very much for doing that. And now we'd like to give you some beat poetry. Mr. Ron Goad is going to be on drums. And John is going to be on bass. Yeah. Okay. And actually, I would like can you move the mic up for me, Logan? You notice we have to adopt the costume, because you can't do it without a costume. Give us a moment to get it started. This first one we're going to do is called Everything Changes. Did that take you by surprise, Ron? Everything changes sooner or later. Some things fall to pieces, some things get better. But don't call me crying at 2 in the morning, for everything changes. You don't get a warning. Everything changes in time. Have you ever been back to the house you grew up in? You'll notice it's quite a bit smaller. While the town that you lived in seems twice as big. All those new streets make you feel like a foreigner. Now everything changes sooner or later. If she wants to leave you, then go ahead, let her. But don't call me crying at 3 in the morning. But everything changes with every day dawning. Everything changes in time. Oh, the homecoming queen, known as Miss Sex Appeal, has developed a tongue that can cut right through steel. And the quarterback hero the girls all adored is selling pickups to rednecks in his Suzu Ford. Everything changes before too long. Every time we turn around, something else is gone. But don't call me crying at 4 in the morning, where everything changes. Must be, you know, global warming. Everything changes in time. Plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. That's what some French guy says. But who knows what he knows? But I know that everything changes, not just the weather. Some things fall apart now, some things come together. If it isn't getting bigger, then it's getting smaller. If it isn't getting shorter, then it's getting taller. If it used to be a dime, now it's $2 or $3. If it's not coming in, well, it must be going out. If it's not flooded, then you know it's a drought. If you used to be a true believer, well, now you have doubts. You know, the dog days of summer made my thinking hazy. I seriously thought it was about dogs being lazy. But it changed into being about a star. Now that's crazy. So I went out for breakfast, but it turned into dinner. Just like yesterday's losers have turned into winners. And those saints we looked up to have turned into sinners. No, I'm not thinner. But you look like you're fatter. Is your mind clear, or are you mad as a hatter? No, nothing's the same, it just doesn't matter. Like Bob said, we're being born or we're busy dying. Even truth can change now, though some call that lying. 11,000 and counting, without even trying. But everything changes in time, and time's flying. Everything changes, everything changes, everything changes in time. Don't you find it ironical and strange that the only real constant is that guy on the corner with the purple mohawk, weird tattoos, and all those painful piercings, who every day when you walk by asks you if you could possibly spare any change. Thanks very much. Normally I'll do a beat poem and then read a conventional poem, and this is the conventional poem. And I chose this one because it relates directly to this particular place. We used to walk past here in the morning, and there was a Keith Haring figure out on the entrance outside, painted. And then one day it wasn't there. So this poem is about that, or was triggered by that anyway. And you've heard of a shaggy dog story, right? Well, this is a barking dog story. It's pretty close. Every morning on our walk, my granddaughter and I passed a Keith Haring dancing man painted on the sidewalk. Obviously copied from a poster or a photograph. I always liked Haring's ability to capture any movement with one solid outline and a few lines like rays from a child's drawing of the sun. This dancing man had a barking dog's head. Or was it a coyote? Haring was sometimes himself a trickster. Then one day the dancing man was gone. Paint stripped, erased. We were sad. Next day, quite by chance, maybe, I saw a Keith Haring barking dog t-shirt online. It was for sale for $8.50 with free shipping. I bought one. The shirt took 5 weeks to arrive on a slow boat all the way from China. It was a much better shirt than I expected for $8.50. The barking dog was barking furiously. We couldn't decide what sort of dog it was, though, as it had short legs like a corgi, but a head and mouth like a coyote. It was a puzzle. The shirt was also a Chinese extra large, not an American extra large. I put it on, but I couldn't breathe too well. Struggling to take it off, I snagged the left shoulder on a nail on the doorpost. Old building. We sewed up the slashed sleeve, but the cotton used was not as white as the shirt, so the mended tear looked like a faint embroidered corporal stripe. I thought perhaps the shirt might stretch, but then it shrunk in the wash. I added the barking dog to clothes we collected regularly for a mission in Guatemala. I ordered a replacement from China, this time an extra large. Time went by. My new barking dog arrived. After washing, it fitted perfectly. More time went by. I went to Home Depot to fondle a few power tools and to buy more duct tape and Gorilla Glue, as one does. I passed the spot where day labourers gather in hopes of getting hired to earn ready cash. One young man caught my eye. He had a reddish coffee-coloured complexion, straight jet black hair, and was wearing a barking dog t-shirt. I looked harder. The left sleeve had an embroidered corporal stripe on it. The barking dog had gone to Guatemala and brought back a Mayan. This solved the puzzle. The dog was clearly a retriever. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the melodies. Thanks for those birds that sing all through the night. Thanks for the reveries. Thanks for the remedies. Thanks for those words that bring solace and light. Thanks for the instruction. Thanks for the construction. Thanks for Clockwork Girl, built Christmas Day. Thanks for the production. Thanks for the destruction. Thanks for the online world that won't go away. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your complacence. Thanks for the dark chocolate. I ate it for dinner. Thanks for your non-violence. Thanks for your total silence. Thanks for telling me straight when I pick a winner. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the maladies. Thanks for the chance you took passing on the cure. Thanks for the miseries. Thanks for the mysteries. Thanks for that secret book. The teachings were pure. Thanks for the deeper beat. Thanks for the stamping feet. Thanks for the rhythm of days flickering by. Thanks for the cheating sheet. Thanks for the summer heat. Thanks for the wisdom of letting time slow slide. Thanks for reminiscing. Thanks for just listening. Thanks for nothing gone missing, or simply what it seems. Thanks for the specialties. Thanks for the eternal teas. Thanks for tall story tales and fantasy dreams. Thanks for the blooms that bloom. Thanks for sun-drenched afternoons. Thanks for how you softly croon, your tone velvet and true. Thanks for scented twilight. Thanks for silver starlight. Thanks for the sanguine moon that shines scarlet on you. Thanks for the falling leaves. Thanks for the bone-bare trees. Thanks for the eagles soaring aloft, the earth white with frost. Thanks for post-war nostalgia. Thanks for post-herpetic neuralgia. Thanks for constant reminders of all that we've lost. Thanks for the overdue induction. Thanks for the fine reproduction. Thanks for digital robot boy who in charge ran away. Thanks for the soft seductions. Thanks for the large deductions. Thanks for the contributions to my forgotten IRA. Thanks for devils that bedevil us. Thanks for rebels that unravel us. Thanks for carrying the candle that lights us to bed. Thanks for breezes that dishevel us. Thanks for gales that level us. Thanks for vandals who stole the handle so the lie was unsaid. Thanks for careful astronomy. Thanks for carefree astrology. Thanks for sign designations. They say we're born under. Thanks for speculative cometology. Thanks for studious planetology. Thanks for starry constellations. The sky's full of wonder. For far-off bells ringing. Thanks for harmonised gospel singing. Thanks for toned and tinted visions we hang upon the wall. Thanks for tune that speak to me. Thanks for head and heart poetry. Thanks for wild intuitions that can come on our call. Thanks for wind-stroked mountains. Thanks for moonlit fountains. Thanks for sprawling green gardens, the darling buds of May. Thanks for Cocopelli canyons. Thanks for tried and true companions. Thanks for just-in-time partners at the dimming of the day. Thanks for the melodies. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for those birds that sing us through the darkest of nights. Thanks for the reveries. Thanks for the remedies. Thanks for those words that bring us closer to the light. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories. And thank you very much for this award, and thank you for listening. Thank you. John, Ron.